Hi guys, and welcome to Hilltop Farm, and welcome to another happy hour. As you can see, I'm on the hard stuff. There's been sickness in the house all week, and as predicted, I think when I spoke to you last on a happy hour, I did get sick. I'm on the mend now, but I'm drinking port for my throat, so yeah, I might not drink for an hour though, not when I'm on the port, but cheers. Okay, now, as I said to you, we've all been sick, so a lot of the outdoor stuff didn't take place. Although last weekend we did, before it really hit everyone, we did manage to get the duck enclosure moved, and I think I said we were taking down one of the outside sheds, so that came down and we moved the duck enclosure, or the duck house, over to it, to where it is, sorry, to where the shed was. We've just got to put up the fencing before we can move the ducks across. But hopefully that's going to happen in the coming days. So quite excited about that. Sunday soapbox last week was about basically the basic rights of ducks, how I see it, and as predicted, a lot of my, well, some of my subscribers didn't see it the same way. Yeah, I had, I mean, we've only got a small following here at the moment, but I had, yeah, a few subscribers unsubscribe. It's quite interesting because no one actually said a word, no one commented. I think if you look at that video last week, I don't think there's a single comment from anyone on there. I don't think anyone was game. But yes, there have been at least 2 channels that I have noticed, because there's a few channels I watch, and there was a few channels that I was referring to, although I didn't name and shame anyone, and I still won't. But I have noticed a couple of the channels that I follow that were in my thoughts when I did it. Have actually shown video in the last week of their ducks in a battling pond. Ironically, both battling ponds the same or very similar to ours. But anyway, I'm happy for their ducks, and if I've offended them, I'm really sorry. Because, okay, and in all honesty, it could, in some cases, it might be something that's never occurred to them before. They could have seen it as I have done, and I've said it to people. Oh, they only need to, as long as they, you know, can get their head underwater to clean out their nostrils and things, that's all they really need. But I confused the needs of the animal with the likes of the animal, you know. There are lots of things we as humans like, but we don't need them. But it makes life a bit nicer if you got them. And as I say, some people it perhaps never even occurred to them. So if you're one of those people that got offended, and I offended you, I do apologise, but that was just my message. Anyway, so what else went on? Oh, of course, the big news, Molly's puppies were due today being the 16th of June. She actually gave birth in the early hours of yesterday morning, and yeah, it was all good. She had a very long, drawn out labour. a lot of people with animals confuse, they think they're not in labour unless they're actually contracting and pushing and doing all those sorts of things. But as any woman who's given birth will tell you, labour starts long before that. And in most cases the worst part's before that. So yeah, she actually, I think it was lunchtime Tuesday, we noticed she was extremely restless, and when you made her sit down next to you, she was having contractions probably every 13 minutes, I think it was. And by the time we went to bed that night, I think it was about every 10 minutes. Yeah, we did put her in our dog room with the other dogs. We left her out with us, and she just slowly progressed through the night. I think by the morning she was at like 8 minutes apart, and that was on the Wednesday, and then it just continued and continued and continued. By dinner time that night, it was quite obvious, because one of the things they do when they go into labour, and often for the first couple of weeks their puppies are born, is they don't tolerate the other dogs. And we noticed on the Wednesday morning she was a bit snarly with some of them. Her favourite is Alfie. Alfie's my eldest daughter's dog, and he stays with us while she's at work, and she's his favourite. Sorry, he's her favourite. So she was, by like through the day on Wednesday, she was getting snitchier and snitchier as the day got on with the other dogs, to the point where by the afternoon we had to keep the other dogs away. She was okay with Alfie, but even by that evening, when my daughter got home from work and picked him up, she was getting a bit snarly with him if he got too close to her. So we knew things were progressing. It was just progressing extremely slowly. Yeah, and can't remember, I think by midnight pretty much it was, contractions for every 4 or 5 minutes, and it was quite obvious things were really moving by then. And after midnight, yeah, she sort of started pushing and doing everything right. And I think she had the first puppy at 20 past 2 or something like that, and she had the last puppy at about 5 in the morning. So I'm not going to tell you how many she had, and I'm not going to tell you what sex they are. In the next week I will be releasing a Papillon Diaries special of the birth of the litter. There's some great footage of puppies being born in there. Yeah, and you'll have to watch that to find out how many she had, what sex they are, and all that. But I will tell you that the babies are all fine, no problems with any of them, which is a great relief, because it's Rolly's first litter. Rolly's only a baby himself. He's only just had his first birthday a couple of months ago. So yeah, this was his first litter, and of course whenever you have a litter with a dog for a first time, there's always that sort of element of, oh, I hope all goes well, because you don't know with pedigree animals, and you invest a lot in them. I mean, we did invest money because we bred him, but a lot of time and effort goes in. So, but anyway, no, all the babies are fit and healthy and looking good. And after a good 24 hours of rest, poor Molly was so tired. By the time she finished, she didn't even have the strength to clean herself up. We took her out once it was obvious that she was settled and she was finished, and that was it. We picked her up took her outside and let her do a wee, and then we brought her in and we popped her on the kitchen sink and we cleaned her back end because she was covered in blood and muck and didn't have the strength to do anything about it. So yeah, we washed all her back end and her legs and dried her, and then popped her back with the babies, who all started feeding rapidly, and she passed out, and for the first 24 hours we hardly heard a peep out of her. She'd wake up long enough to bolt down some food and then go back to sleep, but she's doing really well. She's it's not her first litter, but she's a very, very tired girl. But sorry about that, the battery on the other camera just died. I know this one doesn't have as good a picture quality, but we're almost finished, so I thought I'd just wrap up on this one, so I apologise. Okay, so bottom line is Molly and the babies are doing well, and tune in next week to the Papillon Diaries and watch the birth and find out what she had. We also will be releasing very soon a from the hen house. Not doing an update on the chicks this week. We actually picked up some barred rock eggs. We're putting them in a different incubator. We're trying a whole new different technique to try and improve our hatch rate. So if you want to follow us in that from the hen house series, you'll be able to see what we're doing, and help us by all means with any tips you have. Tell us what you do and how you do it. If you watch the video when it's released in the next day or so, it's explained in there what we've done in the past and what we intend to do here. So listen to that. If you do it differently and you think we're about to do something wrong, or you do it differently somehow, please let me know, and we'll take all that into consideration. There's no across the duck pond this week, because the duck eggs are actually due to go into lockdown on Monday, so there didn't seem any point, and nothing had happened really in the last week anyway, so I didn't see any point in doing a video on that. I'm just going to do one on Monday about the lockdown and how we do it, what we do, and you'll see how many are going into the lockdown process. And of course, later on in the week, into another on the pond, across the duck pond, hopefully with the hatching, and we'll be able to see the ducklings, which I just love ducklings. They're so cute. I think they're so much cuter than chicken chicks, but that's just me. I got a soft spot for ducks. Okay, what else? There'll be a video coming out, very quick one, updating you on the seedlings, but again in the next week the peas will all be planted. So next week's video excuse me, next week's video will cover that. This week's video on kombucha, you can have a look. We're sort of turning the one you've seen so far into kind of a science experiment, and I have got something special lined up, so tune in and you'll see I've got a surprise in that one. And as for cooking videos and apple cider vinegar videos, I am so sorry. I've been promising for weeks now. I will. I just won't tell you I'll definitely do it by next week, because as soon as I say that I won't. But I will, as soon as I can, I promise you I will. And likewise, I said I was going to interview my mother and do a series basically from an old timer's point of view. She'll hate me saying that. Love you, Mum. But anyway, I still intend to do that. She's virtually recovered from her hip replacement operation now. She in fact came with us this morning to go and pick up the barred rock eggs. Yeah, apart from being a bit stiff when she's been sitting in one position for a while, she's doing really well. So I guess it's inevitable at her time of life that they start chucking out the old parts and putting in the new. She's got a good sense of humour, my mum. I can tease her about it. When she went in to have her hip operation, I asked them if she could ask the doctor if she could have the hip joint back so we could feed it to the dogs, but they wouldn't be in it apparently. Can't understand why. But no, she's I've just thrown my board across the table. That must be cue to wind this up. Alright, because I need to refill my drink and clean the table. Okay, so thank you for joining me for another happy hour. I feel like I'm doing lots of talking in the last few weeks of videos, not actually doing anything. But once we get past this sickness, we'll be onto it. So thank you for joining me and thank you for being patient. If you enjoyed this video, give us a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the grey bell next to the subscribe button so you get notified every time we release a video. Share us on social media, and in the meantime, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya! Oh, and I keep forgetting. Cheers!